Welcome back to Better You. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson. I'm here with Kit, and he was talking about his books. So, Kit, when we were on break, you told me you had 7 books. I did not realize you had so many.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you just give us a little summary of what those books are about?
Okay, well, the third book is a more romantic book, and it ends on heartbreak, but it's also included in the first book. It helped me to expand the first book. It's called A Muse. It's just a story of just a play-by-play of a modern romantic story, dates and the anticipation, the excitement that you get when you meet somebody new, and that uncertainty, and also the triumph of having that person to reciprocate those feelings, and then the subsequent and most of the time eventual breakup and heartache that accompanies it. And then on the fourth book, it's called Sheldon Scarred, and it's about the protagonist, Bailey Coleman. It's his experiences in the military, and the premise of the book is Bailey sitting down with his younger brother, explaining the scars on their body. So Bailey's come from a standpoint of being in the military, and his brothers come from a standpoint of being on the street. And it's written more in an urban sense, and it has a lot of Southern drawl and vernacular in it. So a lot of people in the generation below me really relate to that book because they say that the writing style is more street. It's devoid of any profanity. All of my works are devoid of any profanity.
So anybody can read your books?
Yes, ma'am. And I did that to make sure that I won't alienate myself from, say, people in high school or even in middle school. They're relatable stories, and most of the time it teaches a lesson at the end. And the wrap-up of the series is the 5th book. But I do have 7. I just say I have 7. The fifth one is more of a action adventure book. It's called Carmine, and it's about a young girl from another country, Ethiopia. She comes to the U.S. and she feels weak because she's alienated, and she's on a big college campus with no friends, and she starts to get attacked and bullied. But she uses that as a catalyst to reinvent herself, and she starts going to the gym, gets in shape, and at the end of her college years, she joins a government agency that helps to spy on different countries that aren't in our interest. And she uses those things they picked on her in school for as her weapons, as like her hair, her fingernails, her skin, because she's a master of disguise. And that book ties into the protagonist in the first book, and then you see that those two were actually the ones that ended up falling in love. But that has a twist in that one too.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah. So and then the 6th book is actually a composite of all those books put together with a couple of new stories inside of it, and it takes the reader back to revisit the stories, but gives it a little bit more detail. And then the 7th book is a composite of all the poems that are inside of all of the books, and also all of the cover art that I use to illustrate the books.